Hi everyone, welcome to this video. The idea here is just to show you a bit how Tucuxi works and what you can do with that. So we have a start screen here with possibility to shut down. Pending request is something that is related to a connectivity to a database at a specific institution. You have the opportunity to load an interpretation if you saved it previously, and you can share it with others as well. But here we're going to start with a new patient, and we'll follow the flow, the mental flow of a pharmacologist right here. So we start with the patient, some information about that person, name, first name, most importantly, the birth date and the gender or the sex that would be useful depending on the drug model we have. We can add some administrative information, which is not the main part here, and that is not related to any computation we'll do after that. Then we can select a drug. So here you will end up with a list of drugs that are implemented for the software. And I will do the demonstration with imatinib. So here I'm selecting that. I have some information about the drug model. Depending on the drug, there could be different models. So here you would have the opportunity to select one of the models. All right, so now we are all right with imatinib. So we'll continue with the dosages. And here I can enter some dosage information. So here I see the default treatments. That is 400 milligrams every 24 hours. Could be at steady state or not. I will start without being at steady state, so just with the first dose for 2 days. And I will end up with that curve and percentiles around that curve. You can see here that while I'm moving, I can see some values. I can right click here with my mouse and select some parameters for the curve. So for instance, I can remove the live annotations, select what percentiles I'd like to see, and so on. So I can add or modify the dosages as I want, for sure. And then we continue with the covariates, because here we see actually the curve related to the typical patient, which is not exactly my patient. So now we can preview the covariates. Here for imatinib, we have 4 different covariates. The gastrointestinal stromal tumor, the body weight, the sex, and the age. The sex and the age I directly derive from what I informed about the patient, and I can modify the body weight, for instance, here saying that okay, my patient is 100 kilograms, and it will recompute the curve and the percentiles. Then I can add a measure if I get a result from a lab. So here, for instance, I can add maybe 400 micrograms per liter at that specific time. And that what we observe is that we recompute the curve with these a priori parameters that are computed based on the covariates and the measure and the percentiles around that. So here I can click on the graph to see some information about the current cycle. Then let's have a look if it fits or not what we expect in terms of drug exposure. And so here we have the targets that are residual targets for imatinib. And we see that at the end of the cycle, an interval, we should be at that specific point. It's possible to modify the targets as we want. And then we can go to the adjustments. And here the software will propose the best dosages. These options are described in the drug models. And so here we see that the best one is considering 800 milligrams every 24 hours. I can add a loading dose, for instance, here, if I want. And then we see that we directly get to the steady state for the 12 hours interval, for instance. So now I can just select the one that fits my needs and continue to the validation with the idea that here we will see the parameters, the PK parameters of the typical patient, the a priori parameters, and the a posteriori ones. You have the possibility to fill in some part that will be used for a report, and then validate that to end up with a report. And here on the left, you see the report that you can generate as a PDF at the end. And that's it. You have the possibility to save your interpretation. And one thing that could be interesting is that if you press on Control Shift T, then it toggles comments. And so if you go on various parts of the software, you will have some information about what can happen. So that's something that could be useful for you. So that's it for this short demo. Enjoy.